There is a big demand these days for language classes in several rural Manitoba communities. Right now, an agency that runs a Language Buddies program in Winkler, Altona, and Morden is calling for volunteers. Shepherd Chiwandiri is the volunteer program coordinator with Regional Connections Immigrant Services in Winkler. Hi, Shepherd. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Shepherd, how would you describe the current demand for English language classes? How many people are asking for them?
Probably my list has grown since last week, but I've had a list of requests, about 55 students asking for language buddies, and they probably would be more, right?
So would you say then that the demand for these classes is at an all-time high?
I would say yes, especially last year with a lot of newcomers coming in, and most of that being families and clients that have moved from the Ukraine, but also other clients moving from different parts of the world as well. So we've got people moving from the continent of Africa, moving in from Europe as well. We just have it's just different people from different parts of the world, really.
Tell us more about the Language Buddies program, because I'm interested in this. How does that program work?
Well, okay. So as a volunteer, so the language program is set up we match a fluent English speaker with an individual or family, right, who have arrived in Canada or to our province, who have a desire to improve their English conversation skills and just to up their confidence level. So what we do is we pair them, and then they meet probably maybe once every month, but at least for 2 hours in that month. But with the volunteer themselves, that we go through an orientation and filling in of forms and stuff as well for just liability, and just go through the program itself, and then we match them after they filled in their forms and we've gone through the orientation.
So what you do is you match up these buddies together. So it's usually one newcomer with one mentor. How long do these buddies work together?
The Language Buddy program, the mentoring lasts for at least 6 months. And then if after those 6 months we can reevaluate and just see where how the program is going, and if they need to get another, to spend more time together, then we can just reevaluate and they can continue. Or if they feel like if the volunteer feels, hey, my language buddy is doing well, they can then just move on, and then we can match them with somebody else.
I understand too that the language buddies, it's about getting out, right, and getting out in the community and learning how to speak the language that way. Is that how that works as well?
Yes. So basically, obviously, like if the client is coming in with certain things that they are really wanting to know, then that's great. But usually we are saying it's not a classroom setting. It's more, it's catered for. It fits whatever their schedule looks like. So if they are connected and they decide, hey, I want to, get to practice my English while we are going out for a walk, or invite someone over for coffee, spend time at the park. So it just really depends on what makes them feel more comfortable.
Yeah, it's almost like that everyday type of situation that they can learn in, right?
That's exactly it, and that's what we're trying to drive. The reality is, like we want to, people really want to feel welcome. They want to feel at home. So what better place to do that while you're kind of living like an everyday experience as well.
When people get to work this closely together, have you found that they've formed friendships or that they've stayed in touch even after the program is over?
Yeah. So we do have people that have connected from the get-go. They've gotten to know each other, and we're talking about 3-4 years later, they're still close friends. And some of those clients as well have decided, hey, we want to pay it forward too, right? So they want to help somehow to volunteer and help other newcomers settle. So there's a benefit to that as well.
Now, Shepherd, you are looking for volunteers right now. If people are interested in becoming volunteers, what do they need to know?
Off the bat, I think we're just looking for people who are just interested in getting to connect with people. And also, there's also English fluency level. So you can be an English buddy if your English level is CLB 5 and plus. So as long as you can actually fluently speak English and carry a conversation. But we also are looking for people who do have the time, right? Because it is time consuming, and we do know that people have a lot of things that they're doing in life as well. But if you do have time and wanting to, to connect with somebody, and that'll be a perfect fit for you.
I understand, too, that besides the Language Buddies program, there's also regular conversation groups in some communities. And there was one that was recently started in Winkler. So what happens at those conversation groups?
How these work is we have volunteers that come through, and we invite clients as well that are wanting to practice their English. But in the difference between conversation groups and language buddies is more on a one-on-one. Our conversation group is in a group setting. So we do the same thing. We've got some icebreakers. We've got some food that's available, and then people just have discussions. It just depends on what people are wanting to learn. So we can have group discussions or discussions around the table, or just practicing people's conversation.
How would you characterize the importance of language for newcomers to Manitoba?
I think it's very important. Being an immigrant myself, right? So communication can be so difficult and frustrating, right? And I find that it's very important to even carry a conversation. Most people are coming here from different places where English was not their first language, and getting here and wanting to even ask for directions is so frustrating because they can't speak English. So it's mentally straining too, and we've found that when people are communicating in a language that they can both understand really is beneficial.
Shepherd, it was an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
That is Shepherd Chewandiri, Volunteer Program Coordinator with Regional Connections Immigrant Services in Winkler. Now, if you want more information about the programs they offer, or maybe you want to try volunteering for the Language Buddies program, you can always find more information on their website, regionalconnections.ca.